Nice. Check, check. Nice. Hello and welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with a pretty sweet deck, green, white, red Maverick. This was a deck that we 4-1 with in our last stream, and it was pretty sweet. So now we have made a few changes, a few tests to see how they go. 3 cards in particular. Maindeck Lightning Bolt, Cyberwood Harshbringer, and Renegade Rallier in the main deck, along with a Feed Artisan. So let's make that 4. Let me quickly bring up the display. So Bolt in the main deck was just a bit of a hedge against having more removal in the main deck, but also having a bit of reach. I don't think Maverick is a deck that many players think have the reach to kind of finish off an opponent if you leave them on 1 or 2 life. So the bolts can definitely come together. It's also nice removal for both things like Icewind Quaddle. It might be able to finish off an Oko. It's got a little bit more utility than something like main deck Fiery Justice, especially at instant speed, which is nice. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, no Chalice in the sideboard. I do think Chalice is still a great card for the combo matchups, because it is that sort of turn 1 piece of hate, but I did need to find some room in the sideboard for these Hushbringers, and so I kind of just changed things up a little bit. So I took out the Chalices because we also have Deafening Silence already, and Pyroblast if needed. And I wasn't too keen to drop the Fiery Justices, so we'll see how they go. The Hushbringers are interesting, and just something that I wanted to check against some of the Esper Vial decks, some of the Thassa's Oracle decks. It's pretty good against Icewind Quaddle, but it's not the greatest against Uro unless you have removal for it. We don't run any ETB triggers other than Renegade Rallier, so I just wanted to see if a Torpor Orb effect was good enough in Legacy. There's definitely a few decks about it, which is interesting. So yeah, I just wanted to check the Hushbringer. There is a few other variants. There's Hushwing Griff, which is a 3-drop, which I didn't want to play because it's a 3-drop. And there is also I believe a 1/2 human 2-drop. That doesn't fly. And it's also human, so it gets hit by Plague Engineer. But Hushbringer, yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. We'll see how it goes. We have played against Cephalid Breakfast a fair amount a fair amount. So it does shut off the Recruit of the Guard Stoneforge Mystic package for Cephalid Breakfast, which is really nice. There's definitely a few matchups. Even Goblins, it's quite good against. The 1/2 body, obviously really good on the play against Goblin Lackey. They can't Munitions Expert it, which is really nice. They can't Matron for something, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we'll see how Hushbringer goes. Renegade Rallier, I've been a big fan of. It doesn't look like a great card in paper, but there's been a lot of times where we've just green sunned for it and got some value from the bin, either a Wasteland or another Mana Dork or even Protection and Noble, which is nice. The rest of the package is pretty straightforward and normal. I have seen some lists running 2 Scavenging Ooze. I definitely like that. I think Scooze is pretty great right now, and usually your first one gets taken out pretty quickly by removal. This list, of course, is also running Mirran Crusader, which is just a really nice beater right now. Pretty great in this deck because we can get it out early, as early as turn 2, which is great. Which is very cool, just like the resub from our Dark Cloud. A huge thank you. 3 months is very cool. Hope you enjoyed Legacy last night. Sadly couldn't make it, but it looked pretty fun. A lot of pretty sweet decks there. The meta in Brisbane's actually really good. But back to Maverick for a second. Yeah, I think Mirrans have been really strong. There are some decks where it does act like a true name, which is pretty great. So I'm not going to change up that. The one slight kind of disadvantage of playing Mirran is that it takes up 2 creature slots, which could be green creatures, which of course just makes green suns a whole lot better, but I think that's okay. Double Pox does get rid of it. Oh, Double Pox was there last night? Interesting. I don't think I've played against Pox in a long time. I know that Nick has been playing it, but I haven't seen Nick in the store for a little while. But he has a pretty sweet. He's kind of gone all in on the deck. It's a pretty nice version of it. Choke is another card that I have been a pretty big fan of recently. And I think there's a lot of Maverick decks running it, and as they should be. There's a lot of Rug Delver around, which don't have too many good answers to Choke. You can daze your lands to get them back, and also Return to Nature is a pretty sweet card that usually comes in if they're playing it, so that's a great way to deal with it. But yeah, I think Choke's just another way to also prey on some of the Snowko decks. If you can get a lock with sort of Choke and Collector Ouphe out and really lock them off blue mana, it can be pretty difficult for them to drop things like Ice Fangs, you know, Brainstorm Ponders, Okos, which is pretty nice. There's not too much else to say. The Fiend Artisan's going to be really interesting. There's not too many. I'm not playing anything like Sanctum Prelate or any other non-green creatures that I could usually get from Green Sun Zenith, but at least we still can get things like Thalia, Mum, and Mirran from the Fiend Artisans. That should be pretty sweet. Let's take us for a league, see how we go. I did drop the third Pyroblast, which you know, Pyroblast is probably one of the big reasons to play red right now. But I felt like a lot of the matchups where I was bringing in Pyroblast, I wasn't bringing in all three, so that should be pretty interesting too. Why not Prelate over Teague? I think just because of Green Suns, if you have Teague in the deck, you pretty much have 5 copies of Teague, whereas Prelate, you really have to draw into it, or maybe find it with Fiend Artisan. And I guess there's not too many decks where Prelate is better. It's interesting, but because a lot of like Rug Delver, which I run into a lot, Teague doesn't really do anything, so I take that out. I didn't even bring it in. But Prelate I probably wouldn't bring in because a lot of our removal's on 1, and that's the main number you'd bring in, or main number you'd name. But I've definitely played around with Prelate before, especially in the green-white builds, just where your mana's a little bit more consistent. But yeah, it could definitely be something that I try in the future, because Prelate's definitely a card you can definitely play in Legacy Maverick as a hate bear. But yeah, I think Teague's got the trump because it is kind of 5 copies with Green Suns, whereas Prelate, you really have to dig for it. Alright. This is it. This is it. This is it. Legacy League. Nice. Play points. Perfect. Gonna crack our chest as well after this, because if we can find one of those elves, I know that a friend of Brian Cook's is buying them for 100 tickets, which is pretty insane. I am not playing the showcase, but if you are, Jack, best of luck. Should be pretty sweet. Up against Hagar. Interesting. This hand's okay. The Dryad Arbor is a little bit interesting, but I don't mind it. Collector Ouphe, this is definitely an issue with running a deck with silver bullets, where Collector Ouphe could be dead in this matchup, but I think here it's fine. We'll see how it goes. Hey Boyd, welcome. Hope you are well. Hey Guru, welcome. Hope you're doing well too. Yeah, so I mean, this is it's an interesting hand because we have a turn 1, a turn 2, a turn 3. Safekeeper and Knight are probably relevant in most matchups, but Collector Ouphe is obviously a silver bullet, where in some matchups it's going to be pretty much a vanilla 2 for 2. But I think this hand is just too good not to. It's a fine hand. I don't think there's like a better 6 in the blind, so I'm just going to keep this. Yeah, it's an interesting. I'm not too sure how many Ouphes there are in Legacy. I'm assuming a lot more from some of the previous sets, but not so much from the modern era. Hey, Ramo, welcome. Hope you're doing well. This is interesting. There's no real rush for me to get the Knight online. The double up on fetch lands is nice because this Knight's going to be a 4/4 when it comes down on turn 3. I could play around Stifle here if I want, but playing a Tager instead of a basic. And because we have so many lands, I'm actually not too afraid of just getting Stifled actually, but I think here Tager into Safekeeper is fine. Oh, cool, Jack. Give me some names. I'm actually not too sure what other Ouphes there are. Kitchen Finks? It is too, that's very correct. Let me see if I can... Oh, it's just an Ouphe as well? Huh. I thought it was 2 types. Got my new mug today, which I'm very excited about. Oof. That is there's some good tea. English breakfast, for anyone who cares. I'm going under Gatherer for this right now. Yeah, let's see if we can get some up. Underground Sea, alright. Instep Brainstorm. Yeah, it does look like there's actually a few of them. If we, there's actually not as many. So this is Ouphes. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay. There are 13. I must have miscounted. Are there any good ones? I don't think so. Oh, interesting. I've never seen this card. This is a brown Ouphe for 1 and a green and tap. Counter target activated ability from an artifact source. That is pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. Have you tried Melbourne Breakfast from T2? I have not, but T2 is fantastic. Not just for teas, but for gifts in general, because I feel like tea is a pretty good gift. It's a pretty can't be wrong gift, which is nice, and T2 do have some pretty good ones. Thoughtseize Brainstorm, interesting. So this is like probably a combo deck. It could be something like, I don't think it would be Death Shadow, because they probably would have gone for a Watery Grave in end step. But the Ouphe would have been really nice here. I'm going to say that. The Melbourne Breakfast from T2 is exceptional. Well, then I am definitely getting some Melbourne Breakfast from T2. How long until I build a pre-modern deck? I feel like Adrian has a few, which I could probably stinge off, which is quite nice. Prismatic Vista, interesting. Yeah, I used to have coffee at night, which really sucks because then you're up late. And it doesn't really help with your sleep, so I feel like a tea at night is a lot better than coffee. This is interesting. So I have the option to Wasteland here. It puts me back a little bit. I would probably rather just build out towards this knight. The Prismatic Vista's got me off guard. I'm going to put this on Ant, but I could be very wrong there. I have no idea what deck this is. It can't be Ant. Is it can't be Ant because of the... Ah, it could be ninjas. That's interesting. Maybe I am just scared of 3-drops. I think I'm happy just to attack their mana. If they're playing Prismatic Vista, they probably have a pretty good mana base of basics. So I think I'm in a lucky position to be able to Wasteland so early on. And if I have that, then I'm going to take it. It's tough though, because that definitely puts me behind from getting a knight in play, which is the real threat that I want to be playing for. Brainstorm. Blue-black combo. Basically storm that LED tutors and all interfere. Oh, interesting, okay. Looking at the spells cast already, like Brainstorm and Thoughtseize, I'm going to assume that our best draw is just going to be Thalia, just to slow them down a little bit. I guess Thoughtseize makes us play of Wasteland instead of the Knight is a lot better, because we weren't going to be able to play the Knight anyway. We're definitely playing the Dryad Arbor. Does speed up the clock a little bit. Double Thoughtseize, double Brainstorm. That's all we've seen. And at least with mana in our hand, we can cast anything we draw into, so. Another Brainstorm, okay. Ooh, that's good. Ooh, that's good. Ritual, okay. Ritual. Double Cabal, okay. 9 mana. Lotus Petal, 1 left. Infernal Tutor. Yeah, sadly sometimes if you're not playing a deck with Brainstorm or Ponder, you just kind of gotta take what you get, which is, you know, more than fair enough. Oh, Past in Flames, okay. Interesting. So we do have some pretty good sideboard cards. The Deafening Silences and the Pyroblasts are pretty nice. The Gadok Teague, that really just replaces our Bolts and Swords to Plowshares, which is pretty nice. At least the win wasn't really through artifacts. I don't think the Petal was needed. So I think they could have won through the Collector Ouphe anyway, which is a little bit scary. Tendrils. Okay. So boarding should be pretty fun. Mirrans, I'm not a big fan of. Swords. Bolts, interesting, especially if they're on the Adnor's plan, but I don't think that's a reason to keep it in. I think Safekeep is still fine because it saves you from destroy and bounce spells. I think Hex Drinker is great because it's an early creature that we can actually start pressuring with. Questing Beast can probably come out as well. Yeah, not too sure on the Vistas. That's an interesting one. So let's go to combo hate. So we definitely want the Deafening Silences. We definitely want the Gadok Teague. I do like the Bog. I don't mind the Blasts. Choke is interesting, but I don't think it's where I want to be. It's probably a case of if there's nothing better, then maybe Choke and maybe Force. Force is an interesting one. If my opponent puts me on Maverick, which I assume they do, instead of maybe like a Naya lands deck, which could definitely be the case. If my opponent saw, I guess Collector Ouphe kind of makes it weird. Yeah, so the one thing about Force of Vigor that I do like is that against Thalia decks, sometimes Storm opponents will play out their artifact mana early on. So you do get the chance to Force of Vigor if you are lucky, but maybe that's not worth it. Hello, Miguel. Yeah, congrats on your 4-0 last night at Brisbane Modern, which is very sweet. This is an interesting one. Are the bolts worth it? Bolts are weird. I think the chokes are fine. If I can really grapple my opponent's mana, then it's pretty good. And at least choke I can play turn 2. But I probably have a better play like Thalia, hopefully, or Green Suns for 2 for either Teague or Ouphe. See how this goes. I think everything else has its place. Yeah. Could go down to land because we brought in the Bog as well, but I think this is fine. Bolt's interesting though. Would anyone keep in Bolt? Especially if they're on life loss cards like Pia or Adnors. So this is an interesting one. This Green Suns represents Gadok Teague or Collector Ouphe on turn 2 because of the Birds of Paradise. However, if we get Duressed or Thoughtseized, then this Green Suns becomes nil, and we keep a pretty fair hand. which I'm not a big fan of. I think this is... This is actually an interesting one. It's really a case of, do they have a turn 1 hand disruption spell? I think because of the amount of hate we actually brought in, that I probably can mulligan this, even though it is quite a nice hand. I just feel that if the Green Suns gets taken, this hand is rubbish compared. It's just too slow, and it doesn't actually disrupt. Yeah. We do have a fair amount of disruption, especially early disruptions. We have Teague, of course. Thalias would be nice. Deafening Silence is great. Yeah, I think the upside here is pretty good. The issue is that if we do get Teague or Collector Ouphe here with Green Suns, we have no protection. I'm happy to mulligan this. I'm happy to mulligan this because I don't feel safe keeping a hand with just a turn 2 effect that if it gets taken, the hand just has nothing else. I'd rather have 2 pieces of interaction in my opening hand, and I think I can mulligan to that pretty well. This is kind of it because we have Thalia, but otherwise it's probably worse than the first hand, but I'm definitely going to keep it because I don't believe there's going to be... I don't think this is a hand that I could just throw away. I think this is okay. Drop a knight, and then we have a pretty good turn 1, turn 2 play. So I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to bottom a knight. And then it's pretty interesting. I think just to play around Massacre as well, this Wooded Foothills is just going to go and get a basic forest, and then we can use the Karakas as our white source for the rest of the game, which means that Massacre will hopefully never be free. I really don't want to see a Ponder for my opponent. I kind of want to see a Thoughtseize just to make it a little bit, make the mulligan decision a little bit better. Okay, Flooded Strain's interesting because at least if they go for a Thoughtseize, they have to get a dual land and our Wasteland gets turned on. But if they want to Ponder here, then they can get a basic, but they might put them behind. Oh, they're just going to pass. Interesting. Well, I'm definitely not playing this. So let's just go... I wonder if there's a reason here to actually go Wooded Foothills, basic Forest Thalia, instead of Wasteland, because they haven't fetched yet, I really want to make them go for a dual land, so I'm actually going to hide this Wasteland for now. I can actually get a Taiga. Mountain Forest, yeah, which also means if we draw a Pyroblast, I can hold that up, which is pretty nice. So I might go for a Taiga instead of a Snow-Covered Forest, because it accomplishes the same thing. We're still playing around Massacre, which is really nice. Storm, not usually a deck that plays counter magic. I assume this is a Brainstorm. But there have been deck lists, of course, that have played Daze in the past, so Daze here would be pretty nice for my opponent. Okay. This is an interesting part. I'm going to assume the majority of my opponent's removal... I guess there's Chain of Vapor, but that's going to cost a land drop as well. So we could attack here for 1. It doesn't play around Chain of Vapor, but it plays around like Abrupt Decay, Massacre, a lot of the more traditional pieces of removal. I mean, the big question is, does my opponent have Chain of Vapor and also lethal in hand? And I'm going to assume not. So I'm going to attack here. I'm going to say this 1 damage is worth it than actually holding back protection for the Thalia. What have we seen from OP? Game 1 they won through Cabals into Past in Flames into Adnors. But as this is only game 2 here, we haven't seen any actual pieces of interaction. Fatal Push would be a big play, because that does mean that I get hit pretty hard. Oof. Oof. Yeah. I talked it through, but you know, Fatal Push is still another card that's pretty great. And this is going to be an interesting spot now. Now the question is, do we play the Knight, which opens up access to Bojuka Bog, which is pretty nice. It also gives us access to drawing an extra card, which is pretty good. Easy Wasteland. Yeah, Wasteland's pretty good as well. It does take them off black as well for now. Yeah. It would have been obviously perfect if we drew a 2 mana spell, but Wasteland here is nice. It does keep the pressure going, at least somewhat. And we do have lands now that we can just play this Knight next turn if we don't draw into anything else. But yeah, instant speed Bog is pretty good, especially if they do go for a Past in Flames line, or even if we can catch them off a Cabal therapy, that would be pretty sweet. Yeah, I guess it's how you use your Knight if they're going to play around it. Because if you're attacking with your Knight, they're of course not going to. But if you keep your Knight back, then maybe they start thinking about what cards you could have. So Petal doesn't mean they're going off. They could just be playing things out. Nope, they're going off. All right. Well, this was pretty fun. Obviously, maybe just got a little bit too aggressive with my mum. And that obviously hurt pretty bad because they did have Fatal Push. I did put them on Abrupt Decay or Echoing Truth, but sadly not Fatal Push. The 1 damage was just to keep achieving pressure, because there's been so many games where we've lost to Ant, unfortunately, when they've been at like 2 or 1 life. And, you know, in hindsight, looking back, attacking with Mum was just so good because they didn't have removal anyway. So, thankfully I can put that on past experience, but maybe just a little bit clumsy with our mulligan decisions as well. Because I guess turn 2 would have been pretty sweet if we... See, if we had Gadok Teague off her Green Suns, they would have had the Fatal Push for that anyway. So the Mum was nice. The hand with Mum was really good. The Vista suggested that they were not playing the Green Splash. Yeah, I just didn't pick up on that. Yeah, that's my bad. But yeah, something to know about in future games for sure. Rough. Update our score as well. Nice. Quick games are good games. Zaka 7. This hand is okay. The Dryad Arbor again makes it a little bit rough, but... Ah, yes, the clip. Thank you, Adrian. I think there's a better 6. Let's be honest. This is a 5-lander with a Dryad Arbor, and yeah, not too much else. This is closer to it, but I'm just going to keep this and bottom the Taiga because we can find it off both fetches. And I'd rather keep the fetches with the knights around. Oh, Ancient Tomb. Okay. Chalice? That's fine. So this is a pretty nice hand. Sylvan Library's pretty good, but I definitely want a Wasteland here. Opponent also down to 6. Thalia. I don't mind sticking on the Wasteland plan because we have these 2 lands for the Sylvan Library. And this also just keeps them off Thoughtknots here next turn. So I'm pretty happy to keep this going. I could keep the Wasteland for an actual soul land, like another Ancient Tomb or a City of Traders, but I think this is fine. Okay, well that's what I probably should have hit. Oof. That's pretty big. Thoughtknot's going to be interesting. I assume they take the knight, but Sylvan Library is probably looking pretty appealing as well. Sylvan Library. Mirran. Let's go for Savannah, and I might just go for Plateau. Gives us double white for the Mirran. Yeah, Dark Cloud plays our Cloud Post at our local, which is very cool. Well, Eldrazi Post. Cradle's nice. They left up these, which is interesting. I assume they want to untap and play the Monolith, which is rough, which is why I assume they have something like maybe a Ugin. Hey, episode 25, welcome. Hope you're well. I guess I can't really play around Ugin or all this stuff, so I'm just going to go for the Knight because it's got the most payoff. It's also a 6/6, which is pretty huge. Untap the Grim. I guess they go down to 4, which is interesting. This must be a pretty big spell that they have. Ugin. Rough. Yeah, it's pretty good. To be fair, they're at 4, which is really interesting. Wasteland. Wasteland's actually probably better for me right now. What can we do here? We can't do a whole lot. Definitely playing it, and we're definitely playing the Mirran, let's be honest. And now we're probably just passing. Do I want my opponent at 2? I think I just have to here. They can play another 4-drop. Because colorless spells, of course, cost less. Interesting. I think I do, because it also just turns off them just untapping the Grim for extra mana in case they need it. Yeah, I don't believe it actually changes anything, especially with the Ugin in play, so we just have to pass here. If anything, it's good for us because maybe it allows us to green hunt a little bit more. It does something if they're playing an Urborg. Renegade Rallier. Interesting. I could double Wasteland. Definitely going after Ugin. Yeah, Rallier, get back Thalia is interesting. Is it if it left the battlefield? So I could also get one of these back into play, but I don't think either of them are quite useful right now. I think we just, so if we play the Sylvan Safekeeper here, and then play Renegade Rallier, we then get 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of power into play. So then next turn, if they make a 2/2 and nothing else, and they block, say, Renegade Rallier, I guess they go down to 1. I would need a Wasteland for to turn it on, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, so Chalice on 1 is fine because we get to cast the Sylvan Safekeeper and then Wasteland them, then play Renegade Rallier, we get Revolt, we get the Sylvan Safekeeper back, which doesn't cast it, it puts it into play, which is nice. I do want to develop my board. I guess I can also just get back a Windswept Heath, which I can go and get a Dryad Arbor with, which kind of does the same thing. This feels okay. There's the Urborg. Okay, so now I'm really happy that we did Wasteland, because it did come up. Another Grim, yeah. That's pretty good. Wow, Ugin gives free Grims? That's crazy. That's insane. I guess Collector Ouphe would be pretty nice off the top. Suns? Green Suns? One time, please. So close. We still have Bolt, but they do have Chalice, unfortunately. Hey, not at all. Not at all. I have definitely missed a lot of Chalice triggers playing the deck, so If anyone is the moron, it is I. Sadly, I don't think there's a big difference between them being at 1 and being at 4 right now. All is dust. That's pretty good. I will not be at Modern, unfortunately, but I will be at breakfast with Jitesh, which should be nice. Haven't seen Jitesh in a long time. Very nice guy. Very good Magic player. Very good human, actually. Just an all-round good guy. Your cat is fascinated by this. I'm going to play this one turn just in case they play something that isn't in typical post. Haha, Jitesh is here. Classic. Nice. Yeah, it should be pretty good. Should be a good brekkie. Go out on the piss after. I know that Jitesh loves a drink, obviously. What's this going to be? 2 black. Blister. Okay. At least we know they're playing Blister. I assume that's pretty common knowledge, but it is nice to know. So this is going to be an interesting one. Force of Vigor is fantastic. Gadok Tig is actually quite nice. I think that's it. Fiery Justice is interesting, but I don't think we really have to get there. Mums are definitely coming out. Swords are fine. Bolts are fine. Safekeeper is pretty great, especially if they're trying to target some of our things. Maybe Safekeeper doesn't need to be there. It doesn't really stop Ballista. Scavenging Ooze is interesting. I'm not sure if that's worth it. Definitely taking out Mums. Is any of this actually worthy? Fiery Justice might be a card that I'm interested in, but I think Bolt just being so effective at what it does that Bolt by itself is just fine. Thalia is actually not too bad on the play, especially if we can keep them off like a turn 1 Grim Monolith. Yeah, Justice is interesting. Maybe Justice is better than Thalia's. Bringer and Justice get around Chalice. Hushbringer does screw up Thought-Knot, but I don't think that's a good enough reason to play it. It's interesting. Maybe even just the flying effect is good enough. You know what? We're gonna try it. We're gonna try it. We're gonna take out Thalia. We're gonna bring in 1 Fiery Justice, and we're gonna play this 60. We're gonna see how it goes. The only card that's bad with Hushbringer in our deck is the Renegade Rallier, but hopefully it doesn't come up. This hand is okay. I don't mind this. I'm going to keep this and play Dryad Arbor first, and then we have Force of Vigor open. I'm going to keep this. I guess if they go turn 1 Ballista, kill Dryad Arbor, that's not the worst. Yeah, I don't like keeping in Thalia if we're bringing in so many non-creature spells. Probably don't just want to... Yeah, let's just... Huh. Is Grim good enough to kill on its own? Might as well see what we draw first. Klothys, interesting. So Gadok Tig keeps a lot of the sweepers away, other than Walking Ballista. Keeps keeps away Ugin, which is pretty nice as well. But if we play Teak here, we can't then force. I wonder if I actually just want to go for... Klothys is actually a pretty interesting card that probably isn't good enough. I don't see both sideboards. Sorry, I don't see both graveyards getting filled too fast. Yeah, the big issue is that even Green Sun's next turn for Collector Ouphe is pretty nice, but the force is already here. Maybe I actually just want to play the Skoos out, get some pressure going, and then we can just pitch the Klothys to the force. I don't mind that. I don't think Klothys is going to do a whole lot in this matchup. I think these two cards are just better. Yeah, Thought-Knot's still pretty scary. Spyglass, okay. That's interesting. Probably just Wasteland. Gladpost. Okay. Noble. Let's play a land. Probably not too fussed on playing the Gadokteak right now. But then it's a case of what do I actually want to go for here. What do we have? Scryb Ranger is kind of cool. Hexdrink is actually pretty sweet. Maybe Hexdrinker is good enough. Hexdrinker can definitely close out games pretty quickly. So if we're doing that, then we can definitely cast the Hierarch this turn. Green Suns for Hex, and then next turn play the Teague. Ouphe is nice. It would have been a lot nicer knowing that the Grim's in play, but now I think the two cards I don't want to see is Thought-Knot for Gadokteak and then All Is Dust or Ugin, because then that just really deteriorates our plan. I guess Ballista would be pretty good for my opponent here as well, if they can find another Post or Locust and have full mana. This board connecting over a few turns definitely relies on this Gadokteak getting into play. But I didn't want to play the Teague and then have the Green Sun stuck in my hand because I can't cast it. But I think this is okay. Hexdrinker just wanted to walk as well. Just wanted to get out there and be like, can I just get some time on the board, please? What is this? Mirror Mage. Interesting. Okay, that's very interesting. Oh, another Green Suns. Honestly, I think it's just Teague here. We just get blown out so bad by a lot of their big spells. I don't think going for Collector Ouphe is better. If only we had one more land. Or one more mana. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think it's Teague as well. All This Dust is I kind of care about. Ugin I kind of care about. I'm not sure if I want to tick up here or hold up, draw a card. I think I want to hold up, draw a card. We're definitely attacking for 4. Oh, they're at 11? Wow. Well, that changes things. I think then that means I just want to tick this up. I can't cast the Green Suns because of the Teague on the field, unfortunately. Ballista is a pretty big card here, I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, Glimmer Post? That's nice. Oh, does this mean that Mirror Mage can become a copy and you gain an extra life? Oh, that's pretty sweet. This is very cool. Please don't Walking Bliss to me. Ugin? So my options are play Knight. It's a 2/2, and Karakas doesn't do a whole lot here, especially looking at their mana and their Sorcerer's Bypass on Wasteland. Green Suns for 3 doesn't really do anything either. I think my only out is to really just try to draw a card here and maybe draw into Swords to Plowshares. Bolt. Yeah, that's tough. Rough. Just a bit too slow. All right. We've done our training, hopefully. And we'll do better now. But yeah, that was rough. I think you know, Cloud Post I think is definitely a favored matchup for Maverick. They do have a few ways to manipulate how good Wasteland is, but definitely like a deck that I would be happy to play against with Maverick on any given day. Rough. Ooh. Yeah, the only issue is that if Ulamog exiles the Karakas, then I can't get it, which would be pretty funny. And yeah, it's just tough because I have to have lethal, or they get to recast the Ulamog straight away, or their next turn, and just exile another 2 cards, which is pretty huge. So many cards I could play. I guess Deafening Detention. No. What's the card? It's a sphere. Lands can only tap for 1, and then spells cast 1 more for each one they play after. Detention Sphere? No, that's... Damping Ball? I like Damping Ball. I'm going to say Damping Ball. Suzuki. Okay. Oh. Interesting hand. I'm not a big fan of the 1-lander, especially without a turn 1 play. I mean, I can Green Suns for Dryad Arbor, but... I guess if we Green Suns for Dryad Arbor, then land this Sylvan Library, it's looking pretty good. Huh. I think I'm more comfortable with a better hand. Hand's great. Yeah, the hand is interesting, for sure. Turn 1 Dryad Arbor. Untap. Don't draw a land. Sylvan Library. Don't draw a land. Green Suns for Noble Hierarch or Birds of Paradise. Yeah, okay, let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. And you know what? There's a lot of lands in the deck, so we'll see how this goes. Could definitely draw into one. Probably just going to get a Savannah off this Wooded Foothills, because then we can also cast this Source to Plowshares if we need to. Got a few good things coming. Ooh, I have a secret play that's going to be pretty sweet if we draw into a land. Because I can get a creature and Sylvan Library down on turn 2 if it all works out. You can play Dampening Sphere, but if you turn up on Wednesday, I'll consider a personal attack. Dampening Sphere is interesting. It does stop Cradle, but that's about it from us. It does stop some of the big mana spells, but to be fair, I think Maverick already has a pretty good matchup against a lot of the big mana spells, so it's probably not really needed, but you know, if Storm picks up as well, then maybe it's a consideration. Opponent think about the hand. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Wooded Foothills, thank you. Let's go for Savannah. Hiya. And then Green Sun for Dryad Arbor. Boom. Trop. Ooh, Infect. Okay. Infect's going to be interesting. And I can't play around days, and I drew another Green Suns. Huh. I think Sylvan Library here is just the best card, because if they're on Infect and not Bant Maverick, then we can just pay 8 straight away. So I think Sylvan Library is just too good here. And to be fair, if they daze this, then at least they don't have a daze for Source to Plowshares maybe the next turn. It could be Food Chain. Yeah, it could be other decks. That's definitely fair. There's something just about Trop into Noble Hierarch that really gives me that that inkling that this is going to be Infect. Especially that my opponent hasn't played a land yet. Maybe they don't have one, but they might also be just trying to find like Inkmoth Nexus if they have one. You're welcome. Nice. Yeah, Infect's usually pretty good. It can be pretty tough for Maverick, but Deafening Silence definitely helps. And there's Inkmoth Nexus. Okay. Gotcha. Scoos. Oh. I mean, if they have it, they have it. I could keep up Swords here, but it doesn't do anything. I want to just build out my mana, so I'm going to try to Green Suns again for Noble Hierarch. Maybe Birds of Paradise, actually. It gives me red mana, which is interesting, because then it turns on Bolt. And I also have a blocker for this Inkmoth. Hey Alex, welcome. And you're welcome. Windswept, okay. I'm gonna animate. A little bit scared, but I don't think I block here. I guess if they like Invigorate Berserk, it doesn't really matter because of the 1 damage. Yeah, no Plague Engineers this time around, unfortunately. Always block? Yeah. Rough. I just felt if they have it, they have it. But if we lose the bird, then we really have to draw into something good, or it just doesn't work. Deafening Silence is great. Pyroblast is pretty nice, especially against Blighted Agent. Ooze can probably come out. Mirrans are still great. The Klothys is probably something that can come out. Hextrick is interesting. Yeah, Force is pretty good as well. I don't mind Force, especially if they're playing Sylvan Library themselves. I think I can drop a Green Suns. I can definitely drop Collector Ouphe. Yeah, Choke's pretty good. It's just a case of finding a good mix of what I want to... I can definitely take out the Safekeeper. Yep. Choke is interesting. Maybe just the one force. I think that's okay. Happy to take out the Beast. Happy to drop a Taiga. Maybe I want the second Taiga because of Pyroblast. If I want to drop a land, maybe then it's Savannah. And just a Mum, honestly. Mum's pretty good on the play, especially against Glistener Elf. This is an interesting one. Oh, what am I talking about? Fiery Justice is incredible. Renegade Rallier doesn't do a whole lot in this matchup. Knights and Mirrans are still great at just beating down. Fiend Artisan is interesting, but probably not good enough in this matchup. There's not one threat that I really want. It's getting pretty close to overboarding. Maybe the Force is overkill. As good as Force is, we do have, you know, Qasali Pridemage to find interaction that way. Deafening Silence is really nice because it allows us to interact on a pretty fair level with removal. So in response to any piece of pump, we can actually just respond with this. Yeah, I thought Silence is a really good card, especially on the play. Maybe on the draw I take them out, but I think this is fine. I think the way we lose this matchup is we lose the early game, and that's definitely going to happen if I don't have removal in the opener. Hey Snick, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? This is better. This is okay. It's very reactive, which kind of sucks, but that's probably okay. I can get a plateau off the Wood of Foothills. Opener was fine. It was just so fair. I felt like the opener was a hand that just my opponent did not care what I had to do. Hey Matt, thanks for the follow. I'm going to keep this in bottom of the snow-covered forest. Yeah, I feel like the opener was interesting, but it was just a bit too fair. It's like play a beater turn 1, Scryb Ranger turn 2, and then Mirran turn 3. Like, we're not going to beat our opponent on a beatdown strategy, especially when they only have to count to 10 and we have to count to 20. From Ohio. I don't actively play Legacy, but I like to read your website. Hey, that's very cool to hear. Thank you very much. What's Legacy like in Ohio? Ponder. Huh. Yeah, this resolves. I think the Pyroblast is mainly for Blighted Agent, but we'll see how this goes. If they shuffle here, then I'm pretty happy to Wasteland the Trop. Pyro good for Oko as well. Ugh. Yeah, if they're playing Oko, that's pretty rough. Chose to not shuffle. Okay. Mirran's nice. So if I Wasteland here, it means that all our removal we can't really cast in their turn to play around days. We can just play the Horizon Canopy here. I don't want to Wasteland, and then I think I just have to go towards Mirran. And I think if I play the Canopy here, then I can just hold up removal in their turn and then just untap and hopefully cast the Mirran, which is pretty nice. Yeah, Waste is interesting. We're definitely not in a rush. But I think I just want to get this Mirran down to like start attacking, or else I give my opponent just too much time. Blighted Agent, okay. There's a land, which is nice. So I can definitely cast the Mirran, but here I'm just going to go after the Ink Moth. I could also go after the Trop, which is pretty interesting. Especially seeing that I have Bolt and Swords to Plowshares. I'm going to do that. Yeah, turn 2 Agent of Inkmoth is a pretty strong play. It's definitely nice when they can put 2 threats into play. Because usually Maverick has an answer for one, but not the other. Okay. Library. Library is pretty nice. I'm gonna fetch here. Let's go for a Savannah. Tap out for Library, then I can hold up Swords or Bolt for the Inkmoth. Savannah, interesting. Okay. I guess this is interesting because if they want to pump, they kind of have to fetch here. And we get to respond to the fetch, which turns off Daze. I'm going to go for Swords over Bolt because they can just Invigorate. Now they get a Trop. Yeah, unfortunate for my opponent not to fetch first and then activate it. But at least here we get to deal with the Glistener Elf. Oof. I would like another land here. Okay, that's pretty good. Pay 8. I think Mirran here is fine, and then just hold up Bolt in case of anything. 4 cards in hand. Oh. To be fair, bolting on their turn isn't a great prospect, especially when a lot of their pump spells just pretty much counter the bolt. So I actually feel like I should have bolted first and then played the Mirran. Like this is pretty bad. I guess Daze works in their turn as well, but I guess they could Invigorate. This could pull out a pump spell. Okay, a little bit lucky, because now we have this Fiery Justice as well. Inkmoth. I could Green Suns for Birds of Paradise. So I guess Thalia here is actually really nice. And then next turn I can actually crack the Horizon Canopy. No, sorry. I was trying to think of a way that we could actually get Renegade Rallier into play and then get back to Wasteland. Green Suns for QP so we can use your remote. I think sadly here it's just Thalia. I'm going to put these two back. They're not really cards I want to pay for. Maybe I have to. So what's the turn? Green Suns for... I guess Green Suns does shuffle, which is nice. Qasali Pridemage. Jitesh, you know this deck better than I do. Okay, yeah. Qasali's pretty good, let's be honest. Dryad Titan is a very cool deck. You should check out FP Pools and also Rodrigo's for some content because they have a lot of good content around. I wonder if I want the card just so they can't daze us off the Ink Moth. Put on top, put on top. FP Pools, thank you very much. Yeah, that's them. Yeah, maybe Cradle there was actually better because it does allow us to cast even something else. I guess Cradle means we could have used two, blown up with Pridemage, and then also just drawn a card with Horizon Canopy, which might have been pretty good. Top deck Beast. I do like the love for questing Beast here. Interesting. Okay. Question is, do I want to draw a card here? I can draw a card in the blind, or I can untap. I think just having an extra mana might be good enough. I guess I kind of want to dig for Wasteland. That's the big card here. So let's draw. Thalia is not bad either, especially seeing my opponent lost to Mr. Landrop. Deafening Silence is pretty good. What time is it here? It is currently 8:48 p.m. We will use Sylvan Library, Pyroblast. Put back the, I guess, huh. So I can play Deafening Silence and Night. I could also play Pyroblast and Night. This is interesting. I thought... Hey Ping, here's one. And here is two. So I don't really want to tap out here. I think I just want to keep these on top. Maybe I'm happy to pay 4 for this. Because then I can go Deafening Silence, Thalia, hold up Pyroblast. But if it resolves, I can't. Which is fine, because then we can just hold up Qasali Pridemage. Yeah, so we can pay 4 here, put this on top. Play Silence. Attack for 6. I could have definitely done that in our pre-main phase, which is probably better. Go to 11. Nice. Play Thalia. I think if they daze this by just hardcasting Daze, I don't think I'll pay for it. I think I'll just let that slide. Okay, interesting. And at least now we have lethal on board as well, which is pretty good. This looks like Swords to Plowshares. Oh, this is fine. Because of the Deafening Silence and Thalia, we're definitely restricting our opponent on what they can cast this turn. I don't think I would red... I guess I could. It just means that we tap out off the Qasali Pridemage. Which I don't think there is a way for them to then deal lethal that turn anyway. Okay, just in case, Chris. But yeah, interesting spot. Invigorate, that's fine. Alright, so now we know about Night on top, but we need to find another piece of removal. Oh. Rough. Justice can't kill because it allows them to gain 5. So the deal 5 and gain 5 all happens at once. I mean, the best thing we can do is just attack here. Play the fetch. Play the Knight, hold up Pyroblast. Rough. This is looking to be an 06. Rough. All right. Looks like we're doing 2 leagues here because this is not how it's supposed to go. Rough. Interesting. To be fair as well, going back to the opening hand as well, really good from a reactive standpoint, but just not great from a pressure standpoint. It definitely shows that we're the beatdown, or at least in the mid game, when if our opponent doesn't start on a creature, of course, which is pretty rough. Need some black cards. Yeah, Plague Eternity is pretty good against Infect, because you can name Human to turn off Blighted Agent and Noble Hierarch. You can name Elf to turn off Glistener Elf, and then Blinkmoth to turn off Inkmoth Nexus, but that is fine. Hey, TJ Fate, you've just made my night. That is so much better than an 06. A huge thank you for the 2 months. Very cool. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great week. Doing okay here. You know, we're 03, 06, but that is fine. Maybe we can go for the 010 if it happens. That would be kind of cool. It wouldn't be. If we lose the next 2 games, or even one of the next 2 games, I'm definitely doing another league after this, because I'm not going to bed with this on my conscience. All right, come on the play. Let's start fresh. Oh, here we go. Since the old Jack Walton. Okay. Nice hand, but no mana. Cradle. Okay. I feel like something's happening tonight. This is actually pretty good. I'm going to keep this. What do I want to drop? They gave 7. I think Hexdrinker can just win games. Maybe it's the Plateau here. Probably Plateau and Knight. Green Suns can get me whatever I want, and maybe Karakas can just give us a free win. Same with Wasteland. So I think it's Plateau, and I think it's Knight, because at least we can find Knight off the Green Suns. Yeah. Okay. Doomsday next league. Not a big fan of Doomsday, unfortunately. Not enough creatures for my liking. Yeah, I feel like if we drop Karakas, it's Reanimator 100%. Doomsday? Okay, I can get behind Doomsday. That sounds pretty good, actually. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. There are like 5 creatures in the deck. Fiend Artisan. Interesting. Can't cast it. Classic. The question is, do I want a Green Suns here? I kind of do. Next turn we could get Collector Ouphe, which might put off their mana a little bit, but I think here just building up my board is fine. Get a Noble. It can attack, which is nice. Yeah, at least I can cast Artisan next turn, which is kind of nice. Doomsday is Doomsday with Painter's Servant, Green Suns, that's a Zergal Pile. Okay, I feel like we're now building a deck, and this sounds right up my alley. Because, that does sound really nice. Double Swords. Astrolabe! I feel like Jerry from Seinfeld whenever he sees Newman. Scryb Ranger, okay. Scryb Ranger doesn't allow us to cast Fiend Artisan yet. can we chat Mad Leopard deck? Absolutely, get a deck going, because I feel like there is a deck where you could play Painter's Servant with Green Suns. You could also play Veil of Summer. Here we go. This is looking pretty good. Oh, I didn't mean to untap. Actually, I did. Yeah, now we're in their turn. This is fine. Pond is okay. Painter's Servant. Okay, we got a 4 of. Renegade Rallier is kind of cool in case some of our stuff dies, like Grindstone. Astrolabe. I feel like I'm being tested tonight, and I've just got to stay on track. Okay. Force. Oh, pitching Oko. At least I've dealt with Oko. At least we've dealt with Oko. That's a pretty good hit. Please don't play Oko. Damn. This is gonna be a tough one, guys. This is gonna be a tough one. Rough. Snowko is interesting. Pyroblast seems great. Choke seems okay. I'll see what creature base they're playing, but I'm not a big feature of... Justice is actually interesting. I do like Justice over Swords. Klothys is fine, Mirran is great. Thalia is okay. Pridemage is okay. Wasteland I can definitely drop down on. I'm going to actually drop down on 2 Wastelands. I'm going to go down on a Noble Hierarch, especially in the face of Dead of Winter. And then maybe it's just 1 Knight, to be fair. As good as Knight is, it's not the greatest against a deck with so many basics. Bog's interesting. I think Bog's actually better than Cradle in this matchup. I think Cradle's pretty dead. Snow decks aren't really one that allow you to go wide, and if they do, they just beat you down so well with cards like Supreme Verdict or Dead of Winter. So I'm going to go ahead and play like this. Sylvan Safekeeper is interesting as well. Yeah. This is just one of those hands which is like... We have some pretty good threats, but we have no early game. I guess Pyroblast is okay against Oko, but if we're planning to play Knight here, then the Pyroblast isn't going to be open on turn 3. Okay. Bottom, done. Yeah, sometimes this is just magic, and you know, you have to roll with it. I'm sure there's been some matches where we've got to like Wasteland on turn 1 and our opponent just hasn't drawn into their, you know, second land for like 5 turns, so... I wasn't a big fan of the hand, so it was a Knight, a Questing Beast, 3 lands, I believe a Swords and a Pyroblast. Which isn't the worst, but I would much rather have some really early spells. Like a turn 2 Thalia here is really nice. And if on curve, if we're playing a turn 3 Knight, we're not holding up Pyroblast for something like Oko, which is pretty rough. At least if they Sword Thalia here, we can go for Klothys, which is pretty nice. So I reckon they're setting up swords. You know what? I'm going to Green Suns for Sylvan Safekeeper and see if they respond with the swords or not, because they might just think we're going after Noble Hierarch for Exalted. Ooh, they didn't do anything. Interesting. Alright. I believe we did not show red in game 1, which is pretty nice. But opponent not reacting to the Green Suns here is kind of nice, because then we get to get Sylvan Safekeeper. I don't mind pitching a land here to a Swords to Plowshares. But if they're playing Terminus, then that's a different game. Ooh. Dead of Winter is a very real card that I'm probably pretty scared of here. I'm going to keep the bug for now, in case they have something like Uro coming. Brainstorm's okay. Yeah, that's an interesting one. They might have brought in Council's Judgment just because it's an okay 1-for-1 piece of removal. And in case of something like Choke. But like 4 mana here for Dead of Winter is pretty, can't do much there. Is there any reason not to get Dryad Arbor here? Probably not. I guess he gets Swords. I'm going to keep this Bojuka Bog for one more turn. Dead of Winter is definitely a pretty good card. Okay, let's go for Dryad Arbor. This does turn off Snapcaster if they're running it. But this is looking pretty bad. I can attack the Knight, the Oko first. Means they can't trade, which is nice. Might as well get Plateau. But yeah, just not the sort of game that I really could bounce on. Yeah, Teferi's pretty good. I think the only card here we can draw into is Questing Beast. Oh, Questing Beast gets phased out. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Yeah, this is Oh, you built Tuesday? Alright, I'll have to have a look after this league. And then it's going to be looking like we're doing another one. Which should be pretty fun. Hopefully we can build on this one. Not too hard to... I just have no words, unfortunately. It's been interesting. I think we've just drawn the wrong side of the deck in most matchups. Which, you know, is something that you have to live with a deck that isn't running Ponder or Brainstorm. You can't really cantrip into the right side of it. But, you know, Green Suns definitely helps. Sylvan Library definitely helps. Fiend Hunter helps in a way. Knight kind of helps in a way. But just we haven't been able to do the strong turns of, like, you know, turn 1 Mana Acceleration, turn 2 Disruption, maybe in Thalia or Knight. Play Elves? I will never play that deck that you just said. Elves is a deck that I probably will never touch. It's just, as a Death and Taxes player for years, it's really hurt me. Elves is a pretty hard deck to beat on D&T. But it does look fun. It'll be interesting to see how many Allosaurus riders? It's not a rider, it's an Allosaurus something. Yeah, I think I want to stay on Maverick. I don't want to give up on this and then just move. Allosaurus Shepherd, that's it, yeah. Interesting card. Not too many on MTGO. See a lot of people are moving them around. Play D&T, play Green Suns, choose one. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. I'm gonna say there's no. There's a few decks that people are playing with that it's like a Maverick deck with Vial, which is interesting. Doomsday as a request league. Phosphorus, I will Doomsday with you if you would like to play Doomsday. I would be very much up for a co-host stream on Doomsday. Alright, we're keeping this. Savannah, Noble, turn 2 Thalia. If you have beers, I can be in an Uber in 5. Okay, that's pretty nice. Interesting. Snow-covered Island. I don't think too many decks right now are playing Spell Snare, so I don't mind just throwing this Thalia out there. And then just go Hex Drinker? They're gonna force it. Okay. My sub goal is not manually updated. It should have updated. Let's quickly... 19. Yeah, it definitely has. One more. Interesting. Force pitching. Force negation. Okay, let's play Hex Drinker and pass. I have one beer in the cupboard. One more sub until Doomsday stream. Okay. I will play to that. Mum's interesting. How do we request leagues? Phosphorus actually did a very generous donation before. So I do have a deck. I do have a league to play for the Fox. But in the past, I have done donation deck lists, which have been pretty fun. Usually with a donation deck list, I do both a streamed league and a YouTube recorded league. I'm just going for Knight here. Am I going for Knight here? This is interesting. They cared about Thalia. To be fair, with Force Negation in the deck as well, this could just be Sneak and Show and not a Delver variant. I feel like if it was a Delver variant, that'd definitely be a more of a like a turn 1 or turn 2 play. So I guess we just have to race. Ooh, just a pass. Okay. Interesting. Oh, Green Suns. What's good for Green Suns? Probably Pridemage. Just because if they have Omniscience but nothing else, which is usually not the case, at least we have an out to Omniscience. I don't mind attacking for first, and just in case they're a bolt deck, we can attack with both here just to make sure we get through. It's the same amount of damage if we just attack with the Mirran because of double strike and Exalted, but I think this is okay. Yeah, if it is show and tell, we can't do much anyway. That is very true. So if it is show and tell, some of the older variants are running Lotus Petal still, which means Collector Ouphe is solid. Pridemage is also interesting. Pridemage is actually pretty good because it means that we could have lethal next turn if we make Hex Drinker a 4/4. So I don't mind that. Teague would be okay. Teague's in the board, unfortunately. Teague does stop. Yeah, this definitely looks like show. Some things, but not all. Missed 1 damage then with double Exalted. Yeah, I guess if I did go for Qasali Pridemage first and it resolved, then I could have got in for an extra 2. But interesting that we just get there. Not really a win that I want to put under the belt, but I'll take it. Deafening Silence is really nice. These can all come out. Teague's interesting. I don't mind Teague. 2 more cards. Skoos can come out, and I think Collector Ouphe is interesting. The Mirrans can probably come out. Klothys can probably come out. There probably are just better cards here. Oh, 03 is not a pity. It is actually 04. But we will do a second stream. We're definitely doing a second stream. But hey, okay. If Phosphorus is happy for me to do a Doomsday deck, then if you are free on Sunday morning and you would like to co-host, then I would be up for that. DD stream? Is that Dark Depths or Doomsday? Yeah, that's fair enough. I think if it comes to, we'll see how it goes. That's actually a pretty good point, Shade. I like that a lot. Okay, we do have to do something here. I don't think Force of Vigor is worth it. I think this is fine. Mirran is a fast clock. I'll give them that. Maybe it's just worth having 1 sword just in case they play Grizzlebrand. But the issue is that, you know, if they're having Grizzlebrand and playing with swords in response, they're definitely getting 7 more cards, which is tough. Maybe it is just keep the beatdown going. Okay. All right. This hand's okay. It's another 1-lander, but I don't mind that. What were the matchups today? We played against Ant. We went down. We played against Eldrazi Post. We went down. Snowko, sadly, went down. And then other things. There was one more deck. I'm just getting a Savannah here. And Eldrazi Infect Snowko, our Dark Cloud. Thank you very much. Very nice. Planes? So we may have preemptively sideboarded incorrectly. It could be Jeskai. Interesting. Hopefully not Jeskai Delver, because we did sideboard out our swords and bolts, but yeah, we got. That's a great point. Opponent having a good think. Alright. Windswept. Happy just to go Wasteland into Thalia here. Ooh, fetch. Could see a daze. Yeah. Hey, look at boring. A huge thank you. That's my sub. That's my sub goal. Very cool. All right. You know what? You guys have been awesome. So I'm gonna give away a booster pack of Core 21 after this. A huge thank you. That is immensely great. Immensely great. You guys are very cool. What do we want to do here? Because I'm not too sure what it is. I think I'm happy just to go Mirran here. Get some pressure going. And then use the Green Suns once I know more is on the board. Hopefully when they tap out, we can cast the choke. Do I own a Shredder? I do not own a Shredder, unfortunately, Adrian. Besides the score, how do you like Klothys Reb over black-blue cards? Oh, they're playing Shark Typhoon. Okay, this is a sweet deck. This is gonna be really fun. It's pretty interesting. Pyroblast is of course a great way to work on the stack, which Maverick isn't really, you know, doing too often. I think they're different. I do really like the Black Splash right now. I think that Decay and Plague Engineer are just so good. And then having, you know, if you want to play Thoughtseize, you can play Thoughtseize. If you want to play Kaya or Vraska, you can also play them, which is really nice. So I think the Black Splash right now is just really well prepared. What are we doing here? Let's go for... I guess they could have like a Snapcaster game going. Like Snap into Swords. Swords again. Okay. Mum's Sylvan Library sounds pretty good. Ah, could have played around Spell Pierce and didn't, you idiot. You absolute idiot. You even saw Spell Pierce in game 1. Come on, man. What an absolute shambles. Stupid. It was a bait? Yeah, I do like that. Alright. I really want my opponent to tap out here. Fiend Artisan, that's pretty cool. I know what I'm gonna do. Oh, do we take out Klothys? We did, didn't we? Ooh. Ooh, I got the play. I guess our opponent could have like Snap into Spell Pierce or something, but if I can Renegade Rallia back into Sylvan Library, that would be sweet. Force. Alright. Not gonna happen. That's cool. That does mean they don't have the force for the choke, so we're getting there. We're getting to a stage where we can get this choke down. Alright. Let's play Fiend. Counterspell. Okay. One card left. Come on, tap out. Ponder. Okay. Let's see what this Ponder does. They're light on cards. This could possibly just be a pretty big shuffle. Chose not to shuffle. Interesting. Ah, what a stupid card. I'm gonna draw a card. Okay. I assume they have some way to deal with it, but it's probably pretty hard to deal with. Yeah, Deafening Silence should definitely not be here. Ooh, end of turn cycle? Okay, that's fair. Ooh, what's this gonna be? Jace. Jace is fine. Okay. Let's hope you have a counterspell. They're going for a brainstorm here. Yeah, I wouldn't have cast a silence either, to be fair. It does mean we can't like Pyroblast in response to a choke if we draw it. Yeah, and that's a great reason why you shouldn't. 2 cards left for my opponent. I guess Questing Beast is pretty good if we can get off the Green Suns, because we did not take it out. Nice, okay. Well, Choke's pretty good. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please? Can we get some questing beasts in chat? No. No. So close. Oh, double planes? Interesting. And a Volk. Okay. Maybe... Oh, they can't even Snapcaster. What is this? Oh, it works. There's Beast. Alright. Yes! I even have a sound for it. There he is. There he is. We can attack them. Oh, we get to attack them and kill the Jace. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. There we go. That's what I want. That's what I want. Totally worth the 0804 just for that. Have they replied? No, they haven't. The card is such a beast. It's going to be tough for them. Only one spell a turn as well with, you know, Questing Beast going. Might as well attack, yeah. Probably want to Wasteland this Volk if they go to our turn and hold it up. Oh, they don't. Oh, Pyroclasm. Interesting. What do I want to save here? Huh. I mean, if they have swords, they have swords, and we can't really... Oh. Actually, no. Yeah, okay, so Deafening Silence saves us. So let's go Protect Mum. Easily, yeah. They can't cast another spell. Pro-red. Goodbye, Dryad Arbor. Goodbye, yeah. They can try, and they're trying right now. Yes. It's the little wins. It's the Deafening Silence actually came up, which I did not think it would. Oh my gosh. Shame Concede incoming. Yeah, if my opponent gets back to me, definitely attack once more. Alright, let's just quickly... Opponent could have many outs. Like, Terminus is definitely a great out. And then maybe, like, untap into, like, Disenchant for the choke. So Pyroclasm deals damage to each creature. So what happens there is a red source deals 2 damage to Mum, to this, to that. Oh, they conceded? No! No! Oh, come on now. Well... Alright. I even tried to do the right thing, to be fair. Alright, let's do this giveaway. Let's go to the bathroom, and then let's play another league. Because this is definitely happening. I'm not going to bet on a 1-4. That's rough. Oh, let's not open it yet. Alright. The giveaway is going to be Beast. There we go. If you want to win this pack of Core 21, please put Beast as a comment, and we'll see how it goes. Pretty cool set. A huge thank you to Good Games Upper Macrovat for hosting Legacy, where I got this, which is really nice. Hopefully there's something pretty good in here. Please don't write Beam. It will not work. You have to write Beast. Okay, so we went 1-4. Let's tidy that up. Let's tidy that up. Beam, Beast, yeah, Beast. There we go. There's a few beasts in here. Okay, that's pretty good. Beats? Beats? That got me. That was a good one. I'm a huge Office fan, so that got me good. Can play Legacy in Melbourne. Yeah, Jack, I hope you guys are doing okay. I know you're at the coast for a little bit, but I'm sure it's not too easy right now. All right, 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds to win this pack and see hopefully what's inside. I will ship this internationally. I actually got tickets for that. Tickets. I got stamps for that this morning, which is pretty cool. Beats, Bears Beats, Battlestar Galactica. Very good. All right, that's it. It's over. And giveaway? Just write giveaway again, right? And the winner is Fox for us. There we go. All right, mate. Would you like this opened on stream or sent to you in this? Crack it. All right. It smells really good. It smells like it's fairy. Oh, you guys hear that? All right. What do we got? We have a pirate token. Nice. Oh, a mountain. Very cool. Oh, Sublime Epiphany. Very cool. It's cool rare. Heartfire Immolator. Nice. Fungal Rebirth. Interesting. Siege Striker. Okay. Short Sword. Nice. Masked Blackguard. Interesting. Track Down. Okay. Capture Sphere. Nice. Concordia Pegasus. Legion's Judgment. Cancel. Rousing Reed. Vine. And Hobblefied. Interesting. That's a pretty good this is actually a pretty good card. Sublime Epiphany is a 6 to cast card. Might be played in Omni in the sideboard, but you never know. Could be interesting. We don't draft here. Yeah, that's fair enough. This is a cool pack. So, Fox, a huge thank you to you for your support. I will give these to you next time I see you, hopefully soon. But if not, I can also mail them. That is an option. All right. Let's. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and I'm gonna come back and we're gonna play into the league because we wanna build on this because that was just really rough. That was not a great game to go through. But you know there was some fun in there. There was some pretty good plays. So we'll see what happens. I'll be back in a second. All right. Here we are. You guys come back. There we go. All right. Thanks for sticking around. Very nice of you guys. You know what? I'm pretty keen to run this back. So let's go update that score. Alright, let's do this. Any minor tweaks? I kind of want a second Sylvan Library, to be fair. Plus, yeah, plus that. The second Sylvan Library is pretty nice. It really just makes our draws a little bit better. And especially against some of the mid-range decks, Sylvan Library can really add up. But I'm not sure what I would drop. The bolts are interesting, but maybe they're just not where I want to be. I mean, if I drop the bolts, I get to play another Sylvan Library and like another Noble Hierarch, which is pretty nice. Which I don't mind. I could also play a second Fiend Artisan, but... I haven't tried the Oath of Ghouls version yet, but it does look really good. I know that Saito, the player from Brazil who did really well with it, is still doing quite well with it. And a few other players have picked it up and obviously got some pretty good results with it. Let's open some of these boosters first. If I get one of these Allosaurus Riders, I'm going to be jumping. Hushwing Griff. See, like, come on. 5 islands. Come on now. That really grinds my gears. That's what I wanted to say. Ooh, Ruined Halo. Interesting. Surely there's hope in here. Trusty Receiver. Retriever. 2 more. Come on. Ugh. Clearwater Goblet. Just what I was looking for. Is Allosaurus playable in Maverick? I think if you had a local meta, there might be a local meta for it. I think it's a lot better in Elves, where it's more than just a 1/1. But yeah, it's tough. It's definitely a very powerful card. But I think if it was something that Maverick wanted, there would have been a lot more testing with things like Cavern of Souls or like Vexing Shusher. Yeah, it's tough. It would be very interesting. I'd love to see a player actually take it through Maverick and find a spot for it, but it's not something that when it was first put out, I'd be like, ooh, that's awesome. Yeah, Cavern would be nice. Of course, Allosaurus Shepherd also hits like Sylvan Library and Green Suns, and like Veil of Summer or Choke is no longer counterable, which is pretty huge. So I'm definitely not cutting off the chance of it making it into a Maverick list and doing really well, but I don't think it's something that the deck is really wanting or striving for. I think the deck really wants like another Teague kind of effect or something good against board wipes, because that's where Maverick really fails. Is you can create a great board presence, but you sometimes can't protect it. Cards like Gaddock Teague and Sanctum Prelate definitely help, but they're they're pretty easy to remove. It's pretty tough. Hey DJ, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Good morning to you. Good evening here. Maverick does have a lot of good choices. This is a fine hand. I'm going to keep this. It's pretty sweet because Mirran's great against a lot of the mid-range creature decks, and then Green Suns on turn 2 with Noble means we can get some of our really good bullets like Collector Ouphe or Gaddock Teague, so this hand looks pretty nice. Ah, very cool, of course. Nice, that's awesome. Very cool to see you in the stream. Yeah, Rob, that's very true, because, Terminus and Verdict you can beat with Gaddock Teague, but you can't beat Dead of Winter, and Sulphur Spirit can beat, like, Supreme Verdict and, like, some other effects, but it can't beat Dead of Winter or Terminus. There's just, like, a really good, yeah. There's a really good mix of removal spells, and especially Sweep is in Legacy, that it's so hard to try to have one answer to all of them. Thoughtseize is usually pretty good. Thoughtseize has worked well in the past. Teferi's protection is pretty cool. Flooded Strand Pass. That's interesting. What does that mean? So we could Green Suns if I was scared of like a Storm deck, we could go for Ouphe here. I don't mind just jamming the Mirran. And just keeping the Green Suns for now, because the more information we get, the better Green Suns becomes, because then we get a better idea of what we have to actually get off it. This looks like a blue-white deck, yeah. Stoneforge. Oh, this looks like a Stoneblade. Interesting. Huh. Jide. Okay. That's going to be fine, because we have a Collector Ouphe off Green Suns. Ouphe will be good. I could go for Qasali Pridemage as well. The only issue with that is that it doesn't play around Swords to Plowshares. What do I want to do here? 2 Hierarch and 2 Mirran is really nice, yeah. I mean, if we go for Qasali Pridemage, it's a 2-turn clock with Mirran. And then otherwise it is anyway. So it's definitely very interesting. We're definitely playing a Hierarch here, let's be honest. Also, basics are not snow covered, which is pretty interesting. You can swing for 8. Yeah. Yeah, I like this. I wonder if there's a world where we don't even Green Suns here. Because if they have a fetch land and they go to 10... No, okay, I was going to say Questing Beast is nearly lethal, but I was taking Exalted into consideration. I think I don't mind holding Green Suns for at least one more turn. Because if he does go... Yeah, if they do go for TNN, then I don't mind going for Wooded Foothills. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go Wasteland Pass. I'm gonna hold the Foothills for now. Rafiq of the Many? Rafiq would be pretty solid. Teferi. Okay, that's not too bad. They're gonna bounce the Mirran, but then we can Green Suns. For 6? Yeah, okay, this is looking okay. Okay, or we could just draw it. Nice. Okay. So let's play the Wooded Foothills here, because I can also hold up fetch for Dryad Arbor, Wasteland it, if they go for an attack with the Jide next turn. Beast. Come on, Beast. Come on, Beast. Nice. Okay. Interesting. So it does look like a pretty stock standard blue-white Stoneblade list. So Choke seems great. I don't mind the Forces, I don't mind the Pyroblast, and I don't mind the Gadok Teague. Mirrans, I think we can probably take out as good as they are. I think just because the removal lines up so well for Mirran that it's not as great. Like, the protection doesn't mean anything. It's just a 2/2 double striker to them. Screws I think is okay, especially if they're playing Snapcaster Mage. Swords to Plowshares is probably a card I can drop down on if they're relying on things like True Name Nemesis to be attacking with. You know, swordsing a Stoneforge or a Snapcaster doesn't feel great because they're already up on a card or up on value. If they're playing Verdicts, then I don't mind going down on some number of creatures, and probably even the Sylvan Safekeeper. Yeah, I don't mind this. Actually, I'm going to keep the Sylvan Safekeeper in. I'm going to drop a Wasteland. I think I can definitely drop a Wasteland here. The other card that I actually could drop is Cradle. Because Cradle, of course, against blue-white decks, you usually can't go too far wide, or else they will hit you with something like a Terminus or a Supreme Verdict. I wonder if they're playing Containment Priest. They probably do bring in Containment Priest against us, so maybe it is worth having just an extra swords in case. Fiery Justice is also interesting. I don't mind Fiery Justice because a lot of the creatures are at sorcery speed, and it also can deal with planeswalkers. How does this look? Sort by CMC. If only TNT was an if only TNM was an ETB. I wish. I think this is okay. Yeah. Justice is pretty nice though. This hand is okay. I think this hand is actually quite nice because you get to go turn 1 Mum, turn 2 Gadok Teeg, turn 3 Renegade Rallier, get back a fetch land, or Green Suns for something like Qasali Pridemage or Collector Ouphe. Tundra Ponder. Interesting. Interesting that they played a Tundra out against a Wasteland deck. They chose not to shuffle though. Maybe they have a bunch of mana and they're playing into it. Actually, Back to Basics is definitely a card that I should be not afraid of, but a little bit cautious of. And I think I can play around that pretty well. They don't have it in hand if they start with Tundra. Interesting, yeah. Island. Swords, okay. This is interesting because the island definitely shows that they have maybe Spell Pierce or Spell Snare for Gadok Teeg. I don't mind just doing nothing here, but doing nothing to a deck that can untap and play Teferi is pretty rough. Spell Snare. Brainstorm, okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, it's cool to see. I've always had like a pretty big love for Blue-White Stoneblade because it's a pretty straightforward deck. It did, I believe it top 8'd the challenge maybe last weekend or the weekend before, and it was just a pretty stock standard list, which is pretty cool to see. Brainstorm. Yeah, I wonder what good cards, I guess it's not so much good cards that Blue-White Stoneblade could be playing, it's more that why aren't you playing Bant? Because you get Oko, Veil, Astrolabe, Uro. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy what one color offers. Stoneforge, okay. Jit, okay. Voice is interesting. I actually played Voice when I was testing out Fiend Hunter. I played it alongside Renegade Rallier as just creatures you could sack and also get stuff. But yeah, I think the big one is that Swords beats Plow pretty bad, or Swords beat Voice. Swords beats Voice. I think if Bolt was bigger than Swords in the metagame as a removal spell, then there might be room for it, but it's just, it is tough. This is an interesting one. I can't Green Suns because of Teague. I can Swords the Stoneforge Mystic, which I don't mind. I also have the play of Renegade Rallier. Rally is pretty sweet. I'm going to fetch because I want to turn on Revolt. They can't force because of Gadok Teague, so this actually looks pretty good here. I guess it's tough because if they just attack then with Stoneforge... Actually, yeah, okay, let's go Renegade Rallier, get back a Windswept Heath, and then we can Swords the Stoneforge Mystic. Unless they have Force Negation. If they have Force Negation, then our plan doesn't work. So maybe I should just be using the swords in their upkeep instead? That's interesting. Yeah, actually, I don't mind that. I don't mind just holding up the swords here. Because with Teague on the field, they can't Force of Will. And in their turn, they can't Force a Negation for free. So I actually think this is fine. Because best case is they play a land, they tap out for Jade and just attack. True Name, okay. True Name's pretty good. True Name is pretty good. Do I want to use this swords? Sadly, I can't Green Suns currently with the Gadok Teague in play. I think I'm happy to keep the swords for now. If I'm saving swords, what am I saving it for? The big card is Containment Priest. But here it's tough. I guess we can't play around Swords to Plowshares, but we can play around a few other cards. Yeah, I think Karakas on Teague is really our only out, unfortunately. But now it's, if they have the swords, then it's just really rough. Oh, yeah. Ha, hey, aggro. It is pretty sweet. A lot of game to it, which is nice. But True Name's definitely an issue. I actually don't believe we have an out to True Name once it's on the board because Pyroblast is really our only out, so this is going to be pretty tough. If not unwinnable. Yeah, a bird off the top is not going to do it. I think if anything we have to save time and go to the board, see if there's anything we can change. I don't mind the Justice. Maybe Justice is better than Swords number 2. An extra Noble on the play definitely makes me feel better. And I think Safekeep is a card that I don't really care about. I don't think sacking lands is really where I want to be. And most of the targeted stuff is just Swords to Plowshares into Fairy, so the mums have that pretty well covered. Yeah, I wanted to keep Swords in case they have Containment Priest. It's the one card that I'm kind of unhappy to see. Not going to keep this. Haha. Unfortunately not. Yeah, Hush is definitely interesting. Especially as a flyer as well. Alright. Yeah, Hush is interesting. The if you have the removal for Uro, it's not too bad, but if you let an Uro resolve, stick around, and then start attacking, then it's pretty bad. Hey, Leka, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? I'm going to start with Hex because I don't want to Green Suns for Dryad Arbor and then just get caught out. I'd rather see if we can hit a land drop. Alright. I'm going to go for Green Suns just for Dryad Arbor here, because it allows us to keep the fetch land around for Renegade. Spell Pierce. Okay. Does that mean... Yeah. I'm going to level up Hexdrinker here. I think that's better than like seeing if I can draw into a land to play the Renegade Rally and get back a land. They have 4 cards in hand. Pretty happy to see if it works or not. And then if not, we can just play the Windswept Heath and then allow the Renegade Rallier to bring it back the following turn. Can you even get back the Hexdrinker? Oh, we can't, of course. You get exiled. Yeah, Hexdrinker sadly doesn't dodge a lot of 3-drops in Legacy, or at least 3-drop Planeswalkers. Doesn't even keep any sort of like +1/+1 counters around Oko, which is pretty rough. Put it down to 3 cards. Pyroblast. Interesting. Basic Forest. Renegade. Nice. Heath. Pass. Pyroblast in hand feels really nice, especially against the True Name deck. Stoneforge is fine. Probably getting Batterskull here with at 4 lands already. Getting Jide, okay. Interesting. So the question is, do I want to swords here? I could definitely swords once they like equip and attack, but I think just in case they do have Batterskull, I'm happy just to use my mana effectively here. Brainstorming response, interesting. Ooh, what's the announcement? I did not see the announcement yet. Force. That's pretty good. All right. Force is really strong, especially now at 4 mana. Stoneforge is fine. Find Judea again with Brainstorm, okay. Alright. Klothys, oof. Klothys is really nice, but it means that's interesting. I think Klothys is definitely worth it. Yeah. If they attack next turn with Jide, I'm probably blocking, so I'm going to keep the Renegade Rallier back. But I did get the Snow-Covered Plains because I wanted to play around back to basics a little bit, but then we drew the Force of Vigor, and now it's kind of rough because I can't hold up Pyroblast. But I think that's okay because True Name isn't as bad with Klothys out and also a way to deal with Jide. Rest in peace. Yeah, it's pretty good. Klothys is not amused. Yeah, sadly Klothys gets pretty hit there. Yeah, 4 senses rip, and I think I just wait for either Batterskull or Jide to come down. They have 2 cards in hand. One is Jide, one is Unknown. It looks like they're just going for it. I think if they're going to play a Rest in Peace, then we can untap and play Choke. Like, surely we can get that on the cards here. It's also quite nice because it means the Jide pretty much just gains them for life. That's really it. I guess they have to use 1 counter on the Renegade Rallier to kill it. They're not attacking. Interesting. Interesting to set this up and then not attack. I don't understand that. I think we just attack, they block, and then we force a Vigor. These two. We get blown out by Daze, but I don't think they're playing Daze. Go to their turn, pitch. I don't have Pyro. Oh, Pyro backup. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think we want to lose the Green Suns. That's the big thing. I think I don't want to play cute. Okay, they didn't have days. That's fair. Wasteland's fine. Alright. I guess we can draw a land and then get Questing Beast, which is pretty sweet. So we do have some nice outs here, which is good. Land off the top. Ooh, Sylvan Library, still pretty good. So what am I doing here? I'm just getting rid of the Force of Vigor. Because I want to play Sylvan Library and just hold up Pyroblast. I can't, I never. Interesting. Still, Library is pretty good. No attacks, wow, okay. Interesting. Nice, there's that land. I'm gonna put this on top and just pay for this. Go to 16, I'm gonna use their Wasteland. Make a green. Play a land. Hey Min, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Hope the new site's going well as well. Alright. Big boy's coming out to play. No. Oh, we could have been... That's fine. To be fair, it fills the bin for Klothys, which isn't too bad. I guess we could have waited a turn, but this is okay. Oh, that's awesome. Nice. I'm sure site migrations are pretty fun. I've definitely done some in my time. No attacks. Okay, nothing too scary, which is nice. Hey, Mr. Fridge. Thank you very much for your hard work when I come home and just find you full at my house. It's a really bad segue. I'm just going to say thanks for the follow, and I hope you are doing well. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Karakas. Alright. So what do we want to do here? We probably just want to play the knight, hold up Pyroblast. So I don't really care about any of these cards. Probably just want to dig a little bit, so I'm going to pay and put back the bird. Claws can exile their force. They have one card. Bird is pretty good. It does a... Oh, I tapped wrong, didn't I? I did. Should have kept up the pyro. And yeah, the one damage actually matters because they are at 5. Back to basics. Okay, that's not too bad because we do have the Pyroblast and the Knight online. Can we squeeze out a win? Maybe. I guess it still lines up pretty well. I'm gonna pay for this. Exile Green Suns. Foothills. Bird. Do I want a Wasteland here? I think I might want a Wasteland just in case my opponent has Terminus. I kind of didn't want to turn on Klothys either. Oh, I can attack with Klothys as well. Ah, interesting. Okay, well... surely they have to have something here. Yeah, okay. Sorry guys, that was just a weird game. Okay, well we start this one on the right tracks. I mean, we had a pretty rough first league. We went 0-2, 0-2, 0-2, 0-2, 2-1. So we got there in the end, but we even messaged our opponent to say that we concede if you don't have an answer for our turn 2 or game 2 win, but they conceded, which is pretty rough. The jig. All right, Jack. I'll see you later. This hand is okay. I'll keep this. Yeah, this is Kland 42, so I assume that they have left chat. Trop. Okay. Trop's interesting. Just gonna go for Mum here, off the plateau. It's probably the land that I least care about here. Chain is okay. Yeah, I'm going to assume this is Rug Delver. Fiend Artisan. Alright. Spellsnare is definitely a card to consider, and Daze is the big one now, but I think just turn 2 Thalia here is pretty nice. Maybe I can get this Fiend Artisan above just a 3-3. Spellsnare here would be okay. Daze isn't okay. Too bad. If I can get this Klothys down, it would be pretty sweet. Knight. Well. I can't really play around Stifle, unfortunately. I think we just get too far behind if we just try to play around Stifle. So... Savannah into Fiend. 1, 2... I actually might just go for Green Suns here. And try to get my mana going. Go for Bird. Yeah, there's so many cheap interactive spells that Rug has, which are really nice. Force. Okay. Brainstorm. This is probably okay too. I'm probably going to Wasteland the Trop in upkeep, just to keep them off something like Hooting Mandrills or Goyf, which is probably what I care about the most. I don't really care about Bolt on Bird because it makes the Fiend Artisan bigger, which is really nice. And they're just going to concede to that. Okay. Interesting. Maybe they're Brainstorm locked? So this is going to be interesting. I do like the Pyroblasts. I do like the Chokes and the Bojuka Bog. I don't like the Cradle. I don't think we can go wide in this matchup. I think it's just a little bit too hard. I don't like the Collector Ouphe. That's always a pretty bad one. Mirrans are interesting. I don't mind Mirran, especially seeing their creature base. It can trade with the Hooting Mandrills. It keeps maybe a Goyf at bay, which is nice. Sylvan Safekeeper, I don't mind dropping. Qasali Pridemage, I don't mind dropping. Maybe not both Chokes on the draw. Like, Fiery Confluence definitely seems like a pretty good card. I don't mind dropping a Thalia on the draw. This seems pretty good. We're at 61. A card that I always like to drop is actually Green Suns, because in this matchup it's a pretty fair match. There's not a single target that I'm really looking to get out. So I think it might just be the third Green Suns. And the rest is pretty good. It sounds okay. I'll keep this. Hex Drinker. Okay. Mum's pretty nice. I don't mind going for a basic here into Mum, just to get it online ASAP. Ponder's fine. Ponder probably finding some sort of counter magic to protect this Hex Drinker. But this could be pretty hard to beat if it gets up to, you know, as big as they get. No Pump is interesting. Is this modern? It is not. The Ponder was cast and the Mother of Runes is in the bin. Unfortunately, Nick. But welcome. Hope you're doing well. Honestly, I don't mind just building up my mana here. And the if I go for Dryad Arbor here, it makes the attack with Hex Drinker a little bit of an issue. Hey Tizzle, a huge thank you for the sub. That's really nice. Hope you're well. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what you play in Legacy. That's very cool. That's above my goal for the month. So a huge thank you. Interesting. I'm pretty happy to block here. Even if they Wasteland on the Taiga here? Haha, hey. Goif. Okay, Goif's okay. Especially when we have screws and swords in hand. Another knight. Haha, hey Darks. Yeah, you can use 5% off. You can use code DOUGS, DOUGES, for some time away. What do I want to do here? I think I just want to cast the Ooze. I could try to jam a knight, but I think for now it's about getting rid of this as a threat, and then probably just playing the Ooze, to be fair. Maybe it's Fiend. Both died a bolt. Is the sub club the new Subway rewards program? Look, I can't confirm or deny that. I don't have a good joke. I'm sure there was a joke in there somewhere, but sadly I don't. The Maverick does sound like a really good 6-inch sub though, so. You would. Hey Nick, what did you play in Legacy on Wednesday night? Or Thursday night, sorry. Wednesday night. Dreadhoard's pretty good. We do have the Scavenging Ooze, which is nice. So a land here would be perfect. Scryb Ranger. That's pretty much it. But that's a weird one. I'm gonna go for Scoos and just hold up mana. I'm not going to attack either. I am not playing Modern on Saturday. I would like to. I do have Humans, which I recently finished, thanks to mtgmate.com.au. But I will be at breakfast, which should be pretty fun. Had a fun interaction with Makers of the Moon and Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Interesting. Interesting. I do like that. Dryad, a pretty sweet card with a lot of different... it definitely brings out the layers in Magic. That's all I'm going to say. Where is this breakfast? I believe it's... Oh, one sec. Winter Orb. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, I believe it's going to be a Jack and Hill, just down the road from GG's. I think I'm okay not to eat something here, so I'm just going to untap this Savannah. No blocks. I might as well cast the Scryb Ranger here because if it gets countered, then the Fiend Artisan just becomes a 4/4, which is really nice. One card left for Jack. Oh, you got Schnit-faced? Nice. Big fan. Big fan. But didn't vom on the carpet? Yeah, that was a night to forget. Blazing Volley deals 1 damage. Okay, that deals with the Ooze. But now I really need to draw like Swords to Plowshares. I think it's Savannah here, in case we draw into a green creature. Paducah Bog. It's pretty good. Come on, Nick. There's a line, and that is where it is. Submerge would be a pretty good card for Jack to find here. Alright, let's untap this. Pyroblast, interesting. I am playing Jack from Melbourne, also known as Kland42 in chat. Winter Orb is pretty interesting. This is actually a pretty interesting spot because Sylvan Library is really nice, but I think most of Jack's outs to Pyroblast are probably, like, I think Pyroblast is just going to be great here because it stops, like, bounce effects, maybe Submerge. Bolt's pretty good. Oh, Wasteland. Interesting. So what if we go Knight? And then if they force it, they have one card left. We can hopefully counterforce and just lose through days. I guess Bolt again does it. Another Bolt would be pretty good. Okay. Probably getting the Wasteland back there is correct. Hextrig is pretty nice as just another attacker here. Yeah, unfortunate Jack. To be fair, for both games you were pretty light on threats. I had an answer for the Hexdrinker and the Goyf, but usually Rug does a pretty good job of just having a threat and protecting it a little bit better. Yeah, Fiend being Beak was really nice there. Like the bolt was really nice, but yeah, being a 5/5 is pretty good. You think Strink Drinker Daredevil is better? Interesting. Okay. Alright. This is a lot better. Nick, you went here for our first league, but we went 08, 04, and then we won the next one. But we're doing this to hopefully bring back some amount of respect. Yeah, that's rough, because I think you got stuck on 2 lands. Was that game? Almost the exact 75? Yeah. Yeah. Your deck needs more Primeval Titan. I was playing Titania until I played the Hushwing Griffin in the sideboard. Titania is definitely a threat that you could play in this. For those of you who are unaware. Titania is a 5-drop Titan? Maybe a Dryad. Yeah, it's a 5-drop legendary creature. When it enters the battlefield, return target land from your graveyard to the battlefield. Whenever a land you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, create a 5/3 green elemental, which is pretty sweet. Which is really cool. Very cool card. We also did a giveaway, which is very nice. Had a Core 21 boosted giveaway. But I do have another one. So after this match, I'm going to do another giveaway. And another pack of Core 21 to see how it goes. All right, on the play, which is really nice, and this hand is fantastic. This is just a classic Maverick hand. The big question is turn 1 Mum or turn 1 Noble Hierarch, and I think turn 1 Hierarch is just so much better here because we can go turn 1 Thalia and Mum, turn 2 Knight, a lot of good things. I'm going to keep this, and I'm also going to use my fetch land first, just in case we're up against a Bolt deck and I want to play the Knight. It'll be a 4/4 when it comes down instead of just a 3/3. CheekyBot tells you what they're playing. Oh, really? Oh, Tendrils. Okay, interesting. Well, then, turn 2 Thalia sounds fantastic. Coolx, that's a pretty good point. Titania does die to Bolt, which is pretty rough for a 5-drop. I can turn off CheekyBot. You know what? CheekyBot's fine. I can use all the help I can get. And I think that's just a little thing. CheekyBot is doing okay in my books. But pretty interesting that a bot can do that. I think I picked up on this once or twice, but pretty cool. We're still going to go for fetch. Fetch, Savannah, Noble. Opponent on 6 cards as well. Yeah, it's fair enough. That's fair enough. You know, you can look at MTG Goldfish for a player's name. You can look at a few other resources for players, but a player might not be on the deck that you know it is on. Maverick is rank 3 on MTG Goldfish. Interesting. Sometimes MTG Goldfish does get its archetypes a little bit convoluted. There have been matches where like Bant Maverick includes Inkmoth. Infect, which is interesting. Let's get it up here. Ooh, basic. See, this is actually where, yeah, okay. So I think here I'm probably going to be playing this Knight instead of the Thalia. It's all dukes. So this does look like it's going to be most likely a Titan deck, which is cool. Nah, it's still a Tendrils deck? Okay, Nick. You know what, Nick? If it's a Tendrils deck, I will give you a free day of labor. Is this... It is not Duke's Day yet, unfortunately. It could be green black depths. It could be a Dryad like Titan deck. It could also be elves. And if it is, maybe Thalia Mum was correct, just to put him back on like Glimpse and Green Suns. I'm gonna put them on elves, but you know, if they've already played Storm, then elves isn't too fast from that. And then of course Depths is also just a combo deck, but yeah, maybe for them to actually change over to like a Titan build, that's pretty interesting. Oh man, please. Elves and Storm have very different skill sets? Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. I think one thing is, I think if you want to learn, what's the word? How you cast your spells, in what order? What do you call that? If you want to learn sequencing, I think Elves is a great deck to learn sequencing with. There we go. Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay. I think, to be fair, I think it's just because I've been comboed out by them on, like, within the first couple of turns so many times that they aren't the same deck to me. but they definitely usually lead to the same results against me, which is pretty tough. There's a great content opportunity here for me. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's very true. Oh, they're on Dark Depths. Interesting. Pedal. Okay. Huh. Very interesting. I think I'm happy to lead up Knight for now. I don't want to get brought into crop rotation. Not of This World is also a pretty big card. I wonder if they do anything in response to Thalia. I'm going to fetch and play the Safekeeper. It does mean if we draw into Cradle, then... Or if we go and get Cradle or something, then it becomes a bit better. But I'm going to hide them on red for now. I'm just going to get the Snow-Covered Forest. And at least next turn with Pridemage, we can start attacking with the Thalia, which will be a 4-power, which plays around the Elvish Reclaimer being a little bit weaker. Yeah, usually if I'm looking at if they're a turbo deck or if they're a slower deck, Lotus Petal and Mox Diamond are pretty good indicators of which version they are. Hey Min, what are you playing in Legacy right now? What are you enjoying? If you do have time. I know you've been pretty busy, but I'm sure you have. Come on, there's a little league in there, surely. Haha, good question. Okay. Okay, Min, what was your first deck in Legacy? Hexmage. So this is interesting. I think I actually just go after the Dark Depths here. Unless they have Elvish Spirit Guide, then they can actually... So if they have Elvish Spirit Guide, they can use Reclaimer just to throw away the Dark Depths. But that means that they don't have Not of This World, which is kind of nice. Oh, you started playing with Legacy with Ant? Very cool, okay. This does seem like an interesting position. But with Thalia out, it makes it a little bit interesting. Then I moved on to Delver because I couldn't beat Delver with Ant. Moved on to Miracles because I couldn't beat Delver. Nice, okay. Interesting. That's a good mix though. That's a pretty good mix. What are your thoughts on like creature-based decks like Esper or Slivers? I know Max is a big fan. I'm not sure if you've also been enjoying those decks. So if we Wasteland here, worst case is Elvish Spirit Guide and then just like crop rotate with Reclaimer. But then we have a pretty good line the following turn when they're tapped out. You like Brainstorm too much? Okay. So green and Spirit Guide? Surely they know that Thalia is down. They have to have Spirit Guide here, right? Come on now, don't leave me hanging. Surely. Okay, there it is. There we go. Okay. Depths is fine. But now they're in an interesting spot because they need mana, of course, to play around Not of This World. Green Suns. Green Suns is interesting. Oh. I was gonna say we could sack a land to Sylvan Safekeeper, and then also turn one into Cradle, and then go and get Renegade Rallier and get back Wasteland. But I assume here there's actually just a better card to get. Scryb Ranger is not too bad, but it doesn't play around Step. Yeah, Scryb Ranger is okay. Hey Nick, don't lol at Fiery Justice until you see Fiery Justice work. Fiery Justice does some pretty good stuff. Oh, double Night Activation does seem pretty decent. Okay. But sadly, to get Scryb Ranger, I do need to go and get Cradle, which puts me off one of these. Can definitely attack first. That's a big question. What am I getting? Is it just another Knight? No. Actually, yeah, we just lose if we use Knight here. Because if we get Scryb Ranger, then they create the 20/20 and then just attack for lethal because they can go and get Step with the 2 other lands. So I think we just have to go Qasali and then pass. Which means I should have attacked with Qasali out because we would have got the extra Exalted. I could get Bird as well. Scryb can untap Knight, but to do that, we need to return a... Yeah, okay, I guess, because we get to put the land back into play. But then it's pretty tough, because then we're left with, like, Wasteland and Savannah? Or Wasteland and Cradle? Alright. So I wonder if I'd rather just get... Yeah, Wasteland's me is fine. Let's be honest. We do have a Karakas, but I feel like Wasteland's a little bit better because we get to just hold off their attack for now. Cradle for Zenith is good as well. It's just a case of what do I want to get. Because I don't think a flyer does anything because of Reclaimer just going and getting Steppy and giving pro. Could get Dryad Arbor with Green Suns. Cradle into Scryb and second Knight. Yeah, that's interesting.